Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. If you always watch our channel, you may know that chip technology giant TSMC and ASML. In the entire semiconductor industry, TSMC and ASML are indispensable links. The former is the world's largest chip foundry company, and the latter is the world's largest lithography machine giant. These two companies have promoted the development of advanced manufacturing processes. Both are indispensable. However, after the US modified the chip rules, both companies could only be in a passive situation. TSMC originally had two super customers, Apple and Huawei. Under the constraints of the US, it had to abandon Huawei, causing huge losses. As a lithography machine manufacturer, ASML is also subject to the constraints of the United States. It is a very headache for ASML to be unable to sell advanced lithography machines to the Chinese mainland market, which has the largest market demand. However, as the global semiconductor industry ushered in a new round of reshuffle, the situation began to get out of control. On the one hand, there is a surplus of advanced technology which has led to a large number of cut orders for TSMC. On the other hand, the rise of mature technology in mainland China, ASML chose to stand on the opposite side of the United States. First of all, after TSMC lost its second largest customer, Huawei, more than half of its revenue was completely dependent on US companies. Apple alone contributed more than a quarter of its revenue, which means that TSMC has been deeply tied up by US companies. TSMC originally had the opportunity to optimize its source of revenue only because TSMC chairman Liu Daing wrongly predicted that the market for mature technology chips was saturated, but the reality was ruthlessly slapped in the face, and SMIC had already taken the lead. Therefore, TSMC has completely given up the opportunity to optimize its business line, and now it can only rely on continuous blood transfusions from US companies. In order to prevent the United States from adjusting chip rules again in the future, TSMC also took the initiative to send advanced technology fabs to American soil. On December 6, TSMC's 12-inch wafer factory in Arizona, USA held a ceremony for the arrival of equipment and announced that the fab process technology there was upgraded to 4 nanometers and 3 nm. The first phase of the project plan is the 4 nanometers process will be mass-produced in 2024. The 4 nanometers process belongs to TSMC's 5 nanometers process family. When the first phase and the second phase of the project are completed and put into mass production, the total annual production capacity will exceed 600,000 wafers, and the value of end products is estimated to exceed $40 billion. In addition, TSMC will invest a total of $40 billion in the first and second phases of the project, which is the largest foreign direct investment project in the history of Arizona, and one of the largest foreign direct investment projects in the history of the United States. Previously, TSMC had invested $12 billion in building a 5 nanometers fab in the United States and announced some time ago that it would invest another $12 billion in building a 3 nanometers fab in the United States. According to the plan, the advanced fab in the United States will start in 2024. A large number of Apple's chips will be produced in the United States. It can be seen that TSMC's attitude has been very clear. In the future, more advanced production lines will be moved to the United States. With the transfer of production capacity, resources such as equipment and talents at the headquarters will also be emptied one after another. Secondly, ASML was asked by the United States to prohibit the sale of chip equipment to China. Originally, ASML was unable to sell EUV lithography machines to mainland Chinese companies, but the United States found that Chinese mainland companies are already leading the production of mature process chips, so it clearly asked ASML to ban the sale of DUV lithography. This is undoubtedly a bolt from the blue for ASML, because TSMC, Samsung and other companies have cut orders for advanced technology, which has caused the demand for EUV lithography machines to decline, so ASML needs to rely on sales of DUV lithography machines to ensure revenue. The decision of the United States undoubtedly cut off ASML's financial resources. After all, mainland China has become its third largest market, with a share of more than 14%, and the share is still growing. If it is unable to sell DUV lithography machines to Chinese companies, the impact will be great. Therefore, ASML's choice some time ago was also very clear. Not only did it set September 1st every year as China Day, but the Netherlands also publicly announced that it would resist the unreasonable demands of the United States and defend its own rights and interests. The Netherlands stated that it will defend its own economic interests on the issue of selling chip equipment to China, and is unwilling to comply with the US attempt to cut off China's semiconductor technology supply. Moreover, ASML also plans to increase the annual production capacity of EUV lithography machines to 90 units and DUV lithography machines to 600 units by 2026. Obviously, ASML is preparing for customer orders. It is precisely because of the successive moves made by TSMC and ASML that the media thought that they were standing in line. TSMC chose the United States, while ASML chose China. In fact, the choice of TSMC and ASML is to make money. Since TSMC has lost Huawei and other major customers in mainland China, its performance has been deeply bound by US companies, so it is a normal move to build a factory in the US. ASML is interested in the mature technology market in mainland China. With the growing demand for new energy vehicles and smart homes, the demand for mature chips will increase exponentially. Therefore, for ASML, the mainland China market can be described as a gold everywhere. TSMC and ASML stand in line for their own interests. For the development of China's semiconductor industry, it will not bring about a core change. What we need to do in the future is to develop core technologies. Finally, I will share another netizen's answer. We should be soberly aware that the core technology cannot be bought and must be relied on by ourselves. It is just that the introduction of new production capacity from generation to generation cannot catch up with the world's advanced level. Our researchers must fight for your breath. Otherwise the developed countries will always get stuck in Chinese necks. I hope that while Chinese enterprises can make money, they should not forget to conquer core technologies and high-end equipment independently. Only by truly holding core technologies in their hands will they not be subject to the sanctions of advanced countries in the future. Thank you for your watching.